If you're a villager, I wanted to remind you about our great new improv show coming up on September 29th at 6:30 at the Rohan Recreation Center. The show is for villagers and folks who have a guest pass. It's going to be the funniest show ever with 2 new improv players heading the cast. Reserved seating at tables of 8. Bring your own snacks and favorite adult beverages. Get your tickets at my.allevents.in/improv929. But remember, it's only for villagers who like to laugh.
Welcome to the Open Forum in the Villages, Florida. In this show, we talk to leaders of clubs and interesting folks who live here in the Villages to get perspectives of what is happening here in the Villages, Florida. We are a listener-supported podcast. There will be shout-outs for supporters in episodes. In today's show, one of our guests will join a few minutes late. His name is Dr. Gerard Acloque, Jr., MD, an internist and primary care physician. He is well known as a concierge doctor whose practice is in the Hollywood, Florida area. He has been specializing in weight loss using GLP-1 drugs for the past several years. He does not accept insurance and is well known for his YouTube videos. He will be joining the conversation a few minutes late. We start today with Peter Bernard, a retired TV reporter who has lost 36 pounds on Zepbound in the past 6 months.
This is Mike Roth on Open Forum in the Villages, Florida. I'm here today with Peter Bernard. Thanks for joining me, Peter.
Good to be here, Mike. Good to see you again.
Good seeing you. And I'm seeing less of you, actually.
This is a good thing.
Yeah, we're here today to talk about prescription meds for weight loss. Or actually, they really created by the drug companies for weight loss, or was it for control of diabetes?
It was for the control of diabetes, type 2 diabetes. And the whole weight loss thing, it's kind of like serendipity. They stumbled on it and found some of the patients that were getting Ozempic, which is one of the originals from Novo Nordisk. People were losing weight. So they did a little more research and decided, hey, this is a good weight loss med. Of course, Eli Lilly, not to be outdone, came up with their own version of it. So now they have Manjaro, and I'm taking Zepbound, and it's working for me.
Okay, so who makes Zepbound?
Zepbound is Eli Lilly, and they also make Manjaro. Manjaro is for diabetes patients, and for weight loss, it is Zepbound.
So it's a slightly less strong?
No, it's exactly the same. As a matter of fact, the label is exactly the same. I'm going to hold it up to the camera. That's the Zepbound label. My wife at home is taking Manjaro. It's the same exact thing, except it's a different color, and it says Manjaro on there. It's tirzepatide. That's what the drug is, and then this is that's what they call it. That's their labeled. That's what they call it when they sell it.
Okay. And how long has it actually been on the market?
Well, they're called GLP-1s, glucopeptide 1 receptor agonists. I know that's a mouthful, but they've been around for a long time. There's other versions of it have been around that diabetics have been taking for years, but the problem is that you have to take them daily. They figured out a way to make it so that it doesn't break down and make sure that the half-life is such that they last a week. So they've been around for several years. Now, as far as weight loss goes, in the case of Zepbound, it was okayed back in 2024 and is now being widely prescribed for weight loss. So there's millions of people across the country taking it right now.
Well, it looks like we have Dr. G joining us.
There we go. All right.
Oh, now we actually can see you, Dr. G.
How are you guys doing today?
Doing great. And yourself?
Well, amazing, man. Just got a little behind on a patient. I had to squeeze in, but we are here.
All right. I figured that was the reason. I was telling Mike, I'll bet he's got a patient that ran over, and he says, that happens.
Yeah, here we are, but we're here. Hi.
All
Everything good? You're Mike and you're Peter.
Yes. Scott, nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you.
Feel like I'm meeting a celebrity. I've been watching your videos since I started my Zepbound journey.
I appreciate that. I tell you, I humbly receive that. Thank you very much. A celebrity, I don't know about all that. Just a doctor trying to make a difference in a space where there seems to be a lot of noise. I call it noise.
So,
a lot of lies and a lot of speculation. Try to
how
give
long
you
have you been?
facts.
Let's back up and say, Dr. G, why don't you introduce yourself and tell our listener how long you've been involved with weight loss medications?
I've been a physician for over 15 years now, training for over 20. If you add training in, opened my office here in Hollywood, Florida in 2021 in the midst of right at the tail end of the pandemic, which was a good idea and a terrible idea at the same time in hindsight.
Yeah.
But I felt it was time for me to move from the hospital space. Didn't like the way medicine was being forced. I was being forced to practice medicine in the hospital space as an employed physician. So I employed myself, took a huge pay cut, but I got a lot of freedom. And in that freedom, I noticed that one of the biggest things that we have as a barrier to care for patients is that the way we practice medicine doesn't allow doctors to give education. And patients are smart. People are smart. I'm not treating doctors and lawyers and people are engineers. They come to me way smarter than I am. And they don't have the information on the medical side on how to treat themselves. So then one of the biggest problems in this country is obesity, hypertension, which then begets hypertension and diabetes and metabolic disorders and all that. So I am constantly teaching about managing your weight, nutrition, sleep, and all the other things. So when the GLP-1s took off around the same time, when I was opening my practice, I had an influx of patients coming from other places. Hey doc, I'm on this medication compound or whatever, and I have no idea whoever it was. So I was constantly doing that. Decided to take it to YouTube, and here we are, 47,000 subscribers later.
Nice.
Thanks, humbly, 47,000.
Do you put them together yourself, or do you have somebody that spices them up? Because you have some good.
Kyle's amazing. I am the talent. I am the brain behind the words that we say, but the visual aspect is all Kyle. He taught me the basics of lighting, the basics of how to get started as a YouTuber, basically. Nice little camera, decent lighting. And then making sure the timing is put on, it's uploaded correctly. He's the one who's pushing me. Hey, you got to do 3 this week. You got to do 2. So he's the marketing director behind everything. Kyle, kudos to Kyle.
Cool.
And that's a good way to do it. You create the content, hand it over to a marketing editor who can turn it into great content. I've seen 1 or 2 of your pieces, and they look very good, professional level.
Thank you.
Now, before you got involved, or as you were getting involved with these GLP-1 drugs, did you look at any of the medical studies that Lilly or anyone else had done?
Of course, I am heavily involved in clinical research. I've not, and I'm super transparent, I purposefully not involved myself in any of the GLP-1 researches. I don't want to have any type of accusations of bias at all, because I talk about them so much. So I've not but I am in the research company that I work for, 2 of them. One of them is heavily into GLP-1s, and I like the endocrinologist. He's the principal investigator on those, but I'm always peeking in, seeing, asking them what's in the pipeline, what things. We have all of these retatrutide, and of course, semaglutide, tirzepatide, and Wegovy. All of those, we worked on those. Our office did. I did not personally. I'm not on any of that. But yes, the answer is yes. I actually, one of my 2 most boring videos before I got with Kyle, it was about when they blew up with the surmount and those things. And I thought I was doing great stuff, right? I had a little camera set up, and I was like, this is terrible. But I actually did go that process. Didn't get a lot of views. Traction. People are not looking for that, really. Most people want to know the basics about the medication, how it works, and what to do while on it. Not a lot of people are interested in the studies, but I read all that stuff. I think it's great.
So you've been using them with your patients for about how many years?
We're going on 3 years now. 3 years.
And that's how many patient experiences?
Jeez. We're approaching in the office over 475, close to 500 patients I've come through here through insurance and cash pay. Combined, I have about 400 patients I've treated with GLP-1s.
Doctor, some of the things that I run into when I post about it or talk about it is people say to me, oh, you don't know the long-term side effects. You don't know what's going to happen 10 years from now. What I always tell them, and I'd like you to weigh in on this, is, yeah, we do know the long-term side effects of being obese, and that is heart attack, stroke, high blood pressure, and all kinds of other ailments that come along with being fat. And I tell them, I hope to either forestall or eliminate that risk. Do you have an opinion on that?
100%. I agree with you, Peter. We do know the risk of being obese, with not carrying around a healthy amount of weight, too much fat. We need all of those things you mentioned. I'll add on renal disease. I'll add on diabetes and its complications and comorbidities that come along with it. And there are several cancers that have been associated with having a BMI greater than 27. 27, of course, of greater than 30 for sure. So there's no disputing that. But let me put another arrow in your quiver there, Peter, for the next time you get attacked with that craziness. True or false? The first GLP-1 was created and it was marketed in 2005. True or false?
I believe so. It goes back many years.
True. 2005 for first FDA.
They're not new
drugs.
drugs. This is not an experiment.
We have long-term data. The GLP-1s, we have this idea in our mind. People have this idea in our mind. Said now because it has a new indication that it's a brand new drug. That's marketing. That's research. That's how FDA in our system here works. So we've taken a medication and we've repurposed it with a new indication, slapped a new label on it, put a new name on it, changed the dosage, marketed it different, and we're presenting the same sandwich as a hoagie. And people are like, wow, this hoagie's great, right? This restaurant's amazing. It's the same sandwich, right? We just put a different name on it, right?
Yeah.
So we have long-term data of GLP-1s. We have it. It's just not in the indication for weight loss. Do we know what the long-term effects are at the doses that were much higher? We do not. But long-term data for GLP-1s in our hands already got it.
Mike?
And there have been several reports in the media about the negative side effects of GLP-1. Can you talk about that for a second?
Of course, any medication, name one, any medication that doesn't have a negative side effect. That's what the clinical trials are there for. When I'm doing a clinical trial, we are obligated to report side effects and, of course, what's called severe adverse effects, SAEs. And that's how you get these long commercials. If you have this and that, you came in here, the guy's talking so fast because the list is so long.
Yeah.
There is basically no medication out there, man-made and even natural, that doesn't have something that's adverse to it. We're putting toxins in our body, hoping to get effects of GLP-1s are related to how the GLP-1s work. GLP-1s slow down the digestion tract, they increase insulin sensitivity. And of course, one of the side effects that we found, and we now made it the actual indication for the medication, it goes to the feeding center, the satiety center of the brain, and turns off that signaling. So the side effects are associated with that. The worst of them all would be pancreatitis, which thankfully I've never seen here in my office with any of the 475, 500 patients I've treated. And that's because I just said it increases insulin. Where does insulin come from? The beta cells of the pancreas. So it turns it on. And if you crank up a pancreas and it doesn't turn off, it doesn't want to turn off. You got a pancreas that's auto eating itself. It's going to just make insulin. It's going to make all of the other enzymes that we use to digest fats and other things. And that's called pancreatitis. So unfortunately, there are a small amount of people that do that. But then you have constipation and gastroparesis and all that because of the slowing down of the diet. So we can predict what is going to happen for the most part. Very low incidence.
Yeah. So is there a treatment for pancreatitis?
Yes, there is. It's called fluids and pain medications. 30, 40 years ago, let's say 40 years ago, one of the most deadliest killers of people who have gallstones and or people who abuse alcohol is pancreatitis, alcohol-induced or gallstone-induced pancreatitis. 30, 40 years ago, it was such a bad thing that we started studying, like, how can we save more lives? This was like 70% fatal a few years, not too long ago. I'm not that old, but I was a young boy at the time. Through the time when I was going to medical school, there was a bunch of studies were done in the ICU space. And we found out if you control the pain and give a ton of fluids early, for the most part, we can save it. And we dropped that 70% down to like 20, 15% now. I'm not saying that's trivial. It's still a high amount of mortality, but that's the treatment, basically. And of course, stop the offending agent, whatever it is that you're doing, stop. It's alcohol or if there's a stone, remove it. But yeah, not as fatal as it used to be 30, 40 years ago.
Hence the reason that when I talk to people about it, doctor, I say that you should not be going it alone and be aware and keep track of what's going on in your body. If you've got pain in your lower right side, maybe that's something you need to talk to Dr. G about, or in my case, my physician. And so I think it's a thing that you don't get just prescribed the drug and you're on your way. You need some counseling. And I know I'm speaking to the choir here, but you need some counseling. You need to know what you're doing along the way because there are side effects that can be bad. I know in rats, they determined that thyroid cancer, but no human cases, as far as I know, have been detected. So that's a non-starter.
Yeah.
I agree. And these are the type of conversations that need to be had when we start on the medication or any medication for that matter. Speak to a professional, someone who's going to give you the evidence-based truth about whatever you're deciding to do. What are other things you need to accompany with it? We know the medications aren't magic. They're not just going to magically, it seems like magic, but to maintain your weight or actually get some good weight loss on it, you've got to do other things. You got to get your nutrition together. And these things can be coached. And for instance, the scary thing about the cancer, the medullary thyroid cancer that was seen in rodents was induced because during the rat portion or the animal portion of any clinical trial, we crank up the doses to doses that you have mega doses.
Yeah.
And then we induce it again, and now it sticks. Of course, you have to say, right? So if you have a history of medullary thyroid cancer or pancreatitis, you're not, there's a black box, no. So you should not. So again, like you said, talk to your doctor. Hey, doc, do I have medullary thyroid cancer? Some people don't even know. You might have a history back in the day in a family, whatever. No, I don't think you should take this. Or you've had pancreatitis. Did you know that you shouldn't be on this? My sister gave me a dose.
Something I think we might want to touch on, because I think here in the villages, there's a lot of people that will see this and think to myself, you know what? I want to try it. I'm overweight. And how many of us are not overweight? Raise your hand. Most of us are. I'm not anymore, thank goodness, because of this. But I think the cost is something that is a turnoff to a lot of folks. I had to do a song and dance with my Medicare Advantage plan. They had to write a prior authorization. And because I have OSA, obstructive sleep apnea, and 5 heart stents and a couple other things, they eventually approved it. So my out the door cost is $93. I think that's a pretty good deal. But this little tube right here, 4 of them cost like $1,200 or $1,300 for someone who just walks in off the street and their insurance company says, yes. Do you think that Medicare eventually will say, look, being overweight, obese is a hazard. So we need to get people down, and maybe this is the way to do it.
Yeah, I agree with you. The cost of these medications have to change. I think they will naturally, that the market will, speaking business coming out of the clinical side, the market is going to drive it down as more newer generations come in. This tirzepatide, semaglutide prices will come down. Will it come down enough that it makes it affordable for someone who, to go through insurance or even cash pay? Not sure. I do the fact that Lilly and with
Novo
have decided to personally by themselves do their own pharmacy, which have lower price. Again, I'm applauding the fact that they've lowered the prices, but again, those prices are still too high, $350 to $500, still too high for many people. So think that you're right. What's going to really drive these prices down is if the government finally decides to do the right thing and treat obesity as a chronic disease that it is. And if the biggest insurance payer in the country is Medicare, and if they say, hey, we're not paying this, we're paying this, that's what going to push the market down. Hey, you're not paying that. You're not dealing with any of your meds. And then it's going to, okay, we'll cut our margins down. All of a sudden, to pay less. So we were on that track, Peter. The last administration was on that track, left it for this administration to make a decision. They've punted on it, and Medicare has not decided yet to negotiate prices directly. But at least it looks like they're calling obesity a chronic condition. They're just not ready to negotiate prices yet.
Hallelujah. What about compounding, doctor? Do you use compounding in your practice?
I absolutely do.
Okay. You are, I'm sure, very aware that there's some bad players out there in the compounding business. There are some good ones like Orderly and Mochi and some of the others that I think are doing the right thing. But I think there's a lot of others out there that are selling snake oil and could possibly be hazardous.
I agree with you. Full disclosure, I am an influencer for Mochi. I started this speaking about their platform. We started that deal in middle of June after a very long discussion, and I really got into them about a lot of stuff that I've heard. And I was like, hey, if I'm going to bring this to my subscribers, I built trust with them as far as giving them solid information and all that. And they've done the best they can. I think the problem with not just Mochi, but all the platforms is supply. They're doing a good job. Like you said, they're trying their best. Yep. They're trying their best to give a good medication from a good compounder. But sometimes with everything that's going on with FDA, their supply gets cut off. And all of a sudden they can't fulfill those orders. And then people get frustrated. That's number one, right? You want to make sure that the platform that you use has a steady supply. That is good. Now, you're right. There's a bunch of bad actors out there. My saying of don't get your meds from the lady at the dollar store is basically saying that's why I say that is because I'm saying get it from a reputable person. Yeah. Get it ordered by a doctor. I personally went to the compounding pharmacy before I had a relationship with them. I never gone there, but before I started delivering compounded GLP-1s, I actually went to the pharmacy. It's local here in Miami, thankfully. I've not sourced my compound from anywhere else. It works. I know it's safe. I know, and they've been FDA visited and passed with flying colors. So I think all doctors should do that due diligence. If you can't go, at least speak to the director, speak to the pharmacist, get some samples, see what's going on, and then you can start putting your patients. These are our patients. I'm responsible for them, and I feel so. Yes,
Mhm.
you got to use a reputable place, a reputable platform, and ask questions and go through your doctor for suggestions.
But as both Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly have been on the lawsuit warpath trying to shut down, I think Mochi was served a cease and desist, if I'm not mistaken. Is there a possibility that these big pharma companies are going to shut them down and cut off the supply of less expensive drugs for those that need it?
I answered this question in the comment section of one of the videos talking about what's going on with this. How could that be? I was like, Big Pharma has two things that people are very scared of. Two things, two weapons. One, high-priced lawyers. Two, deep
Lots
pockets.
of them.
So they can drag you out to the deep end of the pool and hold you there. And some of these companies, you just fold, right? You just don't have enough to go through the discovery, and they've got 10 lawyers, you got two, and you're trying to keep your head above water. So these companies are going to fold. That's what's going to happen, Peter, eventually. What's going on right now is these compound pharmacies are attempting to dodge the rules. The rules say if the dosing is not available and patients need it, that's where compounding can come in. Or if there's an additive that needed a lot, you'll see people like, hi, all of a sudden I got my GLP-1s, it's pink. That's B12, right?
B12.
So I think that is going to be something that you'll see the big pharma companies come at next. And hopefully, this is a wonder drug. I want everybody to have it or access to it. And I think that, as Peter, I'm sure you've dug deep into it and you say, looks like they're using this for other stuff. What the heck? This works for the kidneys? Yes. Improves cardiac function? Yes. Maybe improves neurodimension, all that?
Alzheimer's? What does it do for
Are
the
we
kid?
using it for Alzheimer's? Yeah.
Dr. T?
Are we going to use it for addiction, for the kidneys? It improves kidney function. Yes.
Breast cancer.
Yes,
I saw
sir.
something about breast cancer the other day.
And I think that breast cancer, and they're now studying it right now for osteoarthritis. Both of those, if you think about it, take weight off of your knees and your hips. Now you're less on these pain meds.
Agree.
So that's what. And then
So-
the breast cancer, I think, is connected to actually obesity as well. Both are connected to obesity. That's crazy how obesity it has so many tentacles into so many different things in this country.
Yep.
And just by dropping weight, we can cure and keep people off of intervention.
So I'll deal with a
Yeah.
little nausea if I can forestall or make sure I don't come down with all that stuff. Mike, you were going to chime in?
Yeah, there are a couple other questions that come up as a side effect. I've read that people are losing their sight completely or partially as a result of taking the GLP-1s, and that the loss of sight is irreversible.
That is a finding in the northeast of the United States in a very small group of patients. So what happened was, and of course, if you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And this was a group of ophthalmologists, eye doctors, that took a look at this, right? And this condition, NAIOC, I believe it is, it's basically the blood flow to the retina, to the back of the eye, which is the picture screen where you
Right.
project an initial movie. The blood flow to the eye and the optic nerve and optic artery gets shut down. This is something that we've known in diabetics a long time. But as I said before, all side effects that come from these medications typically come from known effects of the medication. And one other known effects of the medication that we don't talk about is GLP-1s tend to lower blood pressure. Don't know if you've noticed that, but your blood pressure is like a few points lower.
Yep.
And how it does that is, and doctor didn't tell you that, it has you through the kidneys decrease the amount of sodium a little bit in your body, right? It's called natriuresis, urinating nature, Na plus sodium urinating, right? So when you drop sodium levels, you drop the urine, you can't really urinate salt. You got to urinate salt water. And that's where the dehydration comes from on the GLP-1s. You urinate a little bit more than you used to. That's why we're always saying hydrate. I am going to bet, and I don't have money on this. I don't have any study on this. I'm going to bet that the patients that are on GLP-1s that end up having didn't listen to the hydration thing. And these small vessels that had water in it collapsed down, and here we go. So preventable, I believe. I've not seen it, and I've treated diabetic patients on these medications. Thankfully, I'm going to knock on wood somewhere. Nothing. And that's because I'm on hydration. Hydration is part of your process here. Yeah, it's a small
Hey,
study.
How much water
All
a
right.
day do you drink?
Your
Great.
recommendation is your weight in pounds, half of that in ounces. So if you weigh 150 pounds, you should be drinking about 75 ounces of water a day.
And then electrolytes.
if you need to, if you feel that you're losing electrolytes in your activity levels, but you're not typically losing, you're going to get sodium from your diet unless you're on a no sodium diet, which is probably have a reason for that. But if you're eating a nutritious Mediterranean diet with all types of colors and all types, you're going to get all of the little things. You probably lick your shoe and get the amount of zinc that you need. If you don't, you're not getting what you need. That's where you would probably get a supplement with B12 and everything else just to make sure. But electrolytes, sodium, potassium, calcium, all of those things typically are in a very around diet.
And what percentage of patients that go on GLP get some of the side effects or any of the side effects, or what percentage don't get any side effects based on your practice?
I'd say about 50 to 60% of them get some sort of side effect. The question is, the side effect so severe, Peter says he's going to deal with nausea. I picked that up, that he has a little bit of nausea on it, and he's okay with it. Is it so severe that it costs you, that we have to stop? Is the constipation so bad that it causes your intestines don't move, like gastroparesis is paralyzed? Is the nausea so bad that you can't eat and hold down food and you're throwing up? Do you have diarrhea that's dehydrating you? Are the side effects so bad that we can't mitigate them or live with them? So again, the medications are pretty powerful. Some people need to get up to tirzepatide 5, 7.5, some people up to 15. And then on the Ozempic side, we're talking, on the Wegovy side, we're talking about up to 1 milligram. Typically, I get them up to, and we get good effects. The key here, Mike, is to get to a level where you get most of the good and a little of the bad that you can handle, because you're going to get a little of the bad somewhere if you go high enough, right? So what is the good? Appetite suppression, food noise is quiet, and I'm losing weight appropriately. What we're looking at, 2 pounds, 1.5 pounds, or 2 pounds, 3 pounds is amazing. Right? When's the last time you lost 12 pounds? You're like, never. Great. Why are you going to 15 milligrams? I want 20. What? You want side effects.
That's
right?
kind of
And I was talking to a couple of people yesterday, and it's just because people want to go fast. And that's where you're going to find we're in a regular problem. So take it easy, go low, go slow.
Is this long-term and chronic? Once you go on to the GLP-1s, you have to stay on them unless you had severe side effects?
That's the $1 million question.
All we got to do in this life, sir, is pay taxes and die. Everything else is not a must, right?
Okay.
So while you're on the GLP-1s, if you can find a way to get your lifestyle to a point where you're actually steady, and we can slowly retract the medications, and you can come off the GLP-1s, hallelujah, you fixed your lifestyle to the point, your nutrition, my 5 pillars, nutrition, you got your exercise, sleep hygiene, stress management, and mental health awareness and emotional intelligence, knowing why you're eating, why you're not wanting to work out, why don't you want to manage your blood pressure or your weight or all those. If you can handle those 5 things, and while you're on the medications, of course, because it helps you to quieten food noise so you can make a deep dive into the year, and we can take it off. And you can just, like riding a bike, take training wheels off, and there you go. My son drives the rides now. Great. Amazing.
What percentage of the patients can get off?
I've gotten about 70% of them off.
Really? In what period of time?
Yeah. That's the question. So to get these habits down,
Right.
5 to 6 months, 6 months, 6 months.
Is that all? I thought you were going to say 3 years.
I'm surprised at that too.
How long have you been on?
No.
I started March 20th and I've lost 36 pounds.
So but I'm not afraid to leave a patient on for life, because diabetics are doing it for life and there's nothing wrong with them. Right. Now, what we have to do is find the dose that's going to keep you at a weight that you're not going to continue to drive your weight down to 0. The body doesn't want that. And that's not what we're looking for, right? Because after a while, you're going to start chewing up all your protein and your lean muscle mass. And now you become a sick, skinny person. So we want to get you down to a maintenance dose that may be lower than what you're taking now for actively losing weight, or increasing the interval from 7 days to 10 to 14. Maybe I have patients that come in once a month, or both, lower dose and an increased interval. We'll find that sweet spot for you that'll have you plateau at your goal weight. And that's how we manage it.
Dr. G, I was thinking it'd be helpful for some folks in the villages watching this, if they're thinking about doing this after watching this podcast. How do you start? Do you think, I don't want to have people go out and Google. I know you have Florida Concierge Medicine. Would that be a good place to go online? Because I know you have the videos and you can get a lot of facts and figures. And then if they're interested, I guess they can call your office, and you can do this on a telehealth basis. Can you not?
Yeah, for you, we're in Florida. It's pretty easy. You can call and get on the telehealth program with me. If they want just a consult, like we're talking right now, the nuts and bolts, what they should be doing, shouldn't be doing, look out for, how to be successful, that's a consult. Or if you want to get on our program, I have one program right now where I see patients on a monthly basis. They have one-to-one with me, 45 minutes, 30 minutes to 45 minutes,
Yeah.
where we're talking through all of these things. And I'm coaching the 5 things that I talk about, my 10 steps on how to get there. And then to get one-on-one consults with me as part of the program, I send 100% of those prescriptions either to Lilly Direct or to Novo.
Not
No, I don't send, because Mochi is a platform. They can go to Mochi and use my code and get $40 off the first month. That's fine.
Yeah.
Mochi does everything. They'll see a doctor. It won't be me. I don't see patients on Mochi's platform. I am doing that because the Mochi relationship it's a little weird. You're like, why would you do that? Because I can't see the whole world and I don't want to see the whole world. I want everyone to have access, right? So Mochi picks up the people who can't see me.
And what is I know it goes all over them. What's the cost, say, on a monthly basis? By the way, I'm in a full disclosure. I'm with 9AM Health, if you've heard of them. And I pay $149 for their services plus the cost of my drugs, which is $93 for me. Would it be about in line with that?
Yeah, we're at $397 for 3 months. We do quarterly because I want you to know that this is a long-term thing and I want to see you for 3 months. My program now has gone to a quarterly model. So every 3 months you pay $397 for the 3 months. That includes seeing me, and then you pay for the meds. So it's about in line with what you're paying.
And those
you pay less.
And those compounded drugs, they're less than going through Lilly Direct or the Novo plan, right?
Yeah, the compounded drugs are less than Lilly Direct. I only do the compounds in my office. I don't ship out the compounds because I'm doing YouTube. I've got patients waiting now. I'm talking to you. I'm doing a million things.
Yeah.
I don't have the wherewithal for fulfillment, and I don't want to fall short sending it. Hey, compound. Hey, you guys didn't send it. You got people waiting.
Right.
So all of my GLP-1 program is all through the Big Pharma, and they're doing a great job of fulfilling, especially Lilly. Lilly does a great, they send you a text like, I'm on the phone, I'm still on the call, I put it through, Lilly's already sending a text on their phone for the meds, and all they got to do is confirm and pay, and their meds come in 48 hours.
Nice. Probably
No
using
one's upset about
the Gift Health Pharmacy, correct?
No, Give Help, no, it's straight from Lilly Direct. Lilly,
all right.
Lilly has their own pharmacy based out of Ohio, is the one where we send the orders to, and they fulfill direct from Lilly. Lilly is not using no intermediary. And then same thing with Novo. Novo does the same.
So for our listeners who are wondering if any of the cost is going to be covered by Medicare or Medicare Advantage plans, that's a dead zero.
Yeah, I'm not going through the insurance with Medicare, like Peter says, and he can attest to the fight that he had to do that. I don't have the wherewithal to do that. And plus, I'm not the PCP of record. This will be all cash pay. My program is all cash pay, no insurance. Because, too much red tape, too much back and forth, fulfillment, PAs, and all that good stuff. It just takes too much. So it's all cash pay. So it'll be the quarterly for me, and then the price is separate from Lilly Direct.
You don't write any PA prior authorizations?
What's for our
not the Lilly Direct, because it's cash pay. Prior authorizations. I'm sorry, I'm using jargon I shouldn't use. PA's prior authorization.
Yeah, physician's assistant.
No,
PA.
no.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
And you describe there, if you have comorbidities, they may approve it, which they did for me because of it. Zepbound is okay to treat OSA, which is obstructive sleep apnea. I think that's the one that got it for me. And by the way, doing experiments now to see if I can not use my CPAP at night. And I'm having my wife come in to see if I'm gasping for air and snoring. And she says, I'm snoring a little bit, but the gasping has gone away.
That's good. You get the weight down. That'll get most of
the weight. It's the weight. It's the weight. It's the weight.
We live in a society here in America where it's too easy to gain too much weight.
Too easy. Yeah. Too many processed foods. And thankfully, we have the economic ability to eat. And it's pleasurable.
So Dr. G, in your practice, you're recommending that people see you face to face or face to teleconference at least once every 3 months?
No, I see them monthly.
Monthly? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Monthly. A lot can happen in 3 months. I prefer seeing them monthly.
Great.
And besides, I fancy myself a lifestyle modification coach. I think I have the wherewithal. And that's where I think the real heavy lifting is. We need to find out what happened here. Many people do have obesity as a chronic disease, and it's no matter what they do, they're a little heavier. Great. I understand that. But other people have bad habits, and we need to figure out if that really, are you exercising really? Are you really eating whole foods and nutritionally in the right proportions? Are you sleeping the way you should? Are you managing stress and your cortisol levels are coming down? Insulin resistance is caused by that. And do you have a mental or an emotional issue that's causing you to not work out or eat inappropriate. What's going on here? Let's dig into this and see if we can fix it. So on a monthly basis, I'm checking in and seeing what we're doing.
And what kind of weight loss are you seeing in a patient in the first month?
It's average anywhere between 7 to 13 pounds the first month. I've seen higher, 20, but those are people that are really committed and consistent. But yeah, that's what I expect to see when you're in the first month. If you're not doing that, I'm thinking you're not doing what you should be doing. And I dig into accountability there. But yeah, that's what I expect the first month. Then it ramps up from there, because then I really get you going with resistance training. We dig into nutrition. I expect consistently 12 to 15 pounds a month.
Now, with other prescription meds, they talk about bringing them in from Canada and saving a lot of money. Are people doing the same thing with these GLP-1s, bringing them in from Canada? Okay.
No, Canada is ordering it from here.
What's
Canada
that?
has an issue with that. Canada is getting them from us, from here. They're ordering from here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think the future of this is Medicare getting on board and realizing that obesity is a chronic disease, and hopefully recognizing that people like me that are on Medicare Advantage plans, this is something you have to have. And if they don't give it to people like me, then they're going to have to deal with all the other repercussions of being obese in the future, which is going to cost a lot more than the cost of my little Zepbound pens.
100%, Peter. You got it. You got it. So it's going to take people like you and me to sit in front of the powers that be and drive this into their heads that these medications are, at this point, the best weight loss medications we have ever seen. We've been looking for these meds since 1950. We found them. Let's use them appropriately. Let's get the price down. Let's get more people on these medications. And let's change a little bit of our lifestyle. Let's get back to when we were more active and ate a little bit better, right? I agree with you, 100%.
Yep. Thank goodness for the, if this is off the wall here, Gila Monster Venom.
Wow.
That's
the Gila monster, where they
Yeah.
found this in the saliva, is where we discovered the GLP-1, the activity of the GLP-1. Looked for it in human beings and found out that we actually make the similar hormone from our intestine. Very smart, Peter. A lot of people don't know that. That's good stuff.
Come on, I haven't been talking about helio monsters today.
It's like a lizard. Looks like a Komodo dragon almost.
I know what it is.
Pretty neat.
We'll be talking about it.
He's probably got a lobby of patients out ready to go here.
I think we've held you up for enough time, Dr. G.
I appreciate you. I
Now,
do. Humble.
Thank you for being with us. Great.
I love it. I'm super humbled, and I thank you. And and I'll give you my information if anyone wants to do a telehealth visit with me, just for education. I'm not trying to sell, and I want people to get on these and be successful. It's a lot of money to pay for these medications. Hate for you to be on it for 6 months and have a bad experience and just swear them off, just because you didn't have the right guidance. So I do consults, and it'd be my pleasure to do consults for your community.
Okay.
Excellent. Dr. G.
Free telehealth visit. Florida Concierge Medicine and Wellness. Dr. Gerard Acloque, Jr., MD, 934-932-3269. Info FloridaConciergeMed.com. HTTPS FloridaConciergeMed.com.
Super nice meeting you. You're the same here as I see you on your YouTube. Some people put on an act or an air. That's not you. Thank you for the email.
Great.
Absolutely, brother. I appreciate you reaching out, Peter. Nice to meet you, Mike. You guys have a blessed day, man. Great day today.
You too. Thanks a lot.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. And now let's listen to a short Alzheimer's tip from Dr. Craig Curtis.
But all scientists feel, all doctors feel, that you should definitely engage your brain and get involved in crossword puzzles, Sudoku, whatever types of brain stimulation you enjoy, and do it on a regular basis.
With over 20 years of experience studying brain health, Dr. Curtis's goal is to educate the Villages community on how to live a longer, healthier life. To learn more, visit his website, craigcurtismd.com, or call 352-500-5252 to attend a free seminar.
This is Mike Roth. Listeners, I'm thrilled to share with you this podcast, which is my passion project to bring knowledge, inspiration, and things you need to know about the Villages and the people living here. Be sure to hit the follow button to get the newest episode each week. Or you can hit the purple supporter box. Even a small donation of $3 to $10 a month makes a big difference. And you can cancel your subscription at any time. Your support means the world to us. Stay curious, stay inspired, and keep those headphones on.
Remember, our next episode will be released next Friday at 9 a.m. Should you want to become a major supporter of the show or have questions, please contact us at mike@rothvoice.com. This is a shout out for supporters. Tweet Coleman, Ed Williams, Duane, and Dr. Craig Curtis at K2 in the Villages. We will be hearing more from Dr. Curtis with short Alzheimer's tips each week. If you know someone who should be on the show, contact us at mike@rothvoice.com. The way our show grows is with your help. Text your friends about this show. If you enjoyed listening, or just tell your friends about the show. We thank everyone for listening. The content of the show is copyrighted by Roth Voice 2025. All rights reserved.